Hi everyone, just wanted to make a quick video. This is my opinion about the appointment of Mauricio Pochettino as head coach of US men's national team football team, aka soccer, which happened today. They were unveiling him in a sort of disastrous press conference where the sound went off. So that was nice. So I just wanted to explain, obviously, I'm a huge Tottenham fan. I was a huge Pochettino fan until he got sacked. He got sacked, probably not his own fault, but that's probably Daniel Levy's fault. So I always kind of like had a soft spot for him. I'm going to show you a couple of pictures here of when we first met him. I think the first time was in person in Denver in 2015, I believe, and that was against the MLS All Stars. So here's a couple of pictures that we got, and yeah, you'll notice that I made him a friendship bracelet, which he later wore during the game. So anyway, about 2018, I moved down to LA, and so I was hanging around with my friends at LA Spurs. So yeah, Tottenham came for another pre-season summer friendly, and this time it was against Barcelona of all people, at the Rose Bowl in Pasadena. So, thanks to LA Spurs, we got the heads up on when their flight was arriving, and so we all went there to greet them. And I made this giant poster that said, Mauricio Pochettino, his magic, and somehow I got singled out for a kiss. I'll show you those pictures as well. It's kind of funny. So you can see in some of those pictures, he's signing my shirt. I got onto the Tottenham official club Instagram or something like that, and they posted that picture. It was kind of funny. And then he signed the shirt, so I couldn't wear it again after that, so I had it framed. So I've kind of always like been interested in what he's doing, and I was quite concerned when he joined Chelsea because that's not my favorite club, obviously. But I suppose I have to grudgingly admit that he did well considering what a mess they were in. And I think he got them up from like mid-table mediocrity to something like six or something. I think he got in like a semi-final of one of the cups, and he got to the final of another cup and didn't win anything. But he got them into a Europa League place. What a shambles of a club, by the way. Just looking at how they're organising themselves and giving out player contracts and having all these people training on their own. What a joke. So I was kind of interested when, his name was mentioned after the Euros as who's going to take over as England manager from Gareth Southgate. And so, yeah, his name was mentioned. And I was thinking, I don't think England will ever appoint an Argentinian. I know we've had foreign coaches before, like Fabio Capello and obviously Sven-Goran Eriksson, may he rest in peace. But I don't think that, that would be like the craziest thing that England could ever appoint an Argentinian. It would be like England against Argentina, or an English player against an Argentinian player at the final of Wimbledon or something like that. I think it's like what. A bit controversial to say the least. So I don't think that he was ever really in the running for that. But then his name was mentioned for the US, and people started throwing out names for that, especially the US had terrible, awful performance during this last Copa. And we went to a couple of Copa games here at Allegiant Stadium. I think we saw I want to say it was Brazil against Paraguay, and then I think we saw Brazil against Uruguay. So I did manage to see Marcelo Bielsa sitting on the ice chest, but you know, it was like 4 weeks ago when they said it's actually going to happen and it is going to be Pochettino, and I was like, oh no, this is like a a monumental disaster. Like, what is he? Does he know what he's walking into? Does he know the level like at which they play? And but then I started thinking, well, maybe he actually could be good. So I just wanted to read you a couple of reactions from a couple of friends of mine who everyone has an opinion. So when I sort of got excited about it, I texted a few friends, and this is what my friend Colin, who is a UK guy, but he lives in LA/Orange County. So I said, Pochettino is announced. And then he sent me back, for me, this is really sad news. It's barely dropping down to last chance saloon. Far too soon. I do get the fact that it guarantees he'll be coaching in the 2026 World Cup, I think, if he doesn't get sacked as well. It seems a bit unfair that three countries, joint host nations, get automatic spots for 2026. If that, well, I'm not really going to comment on that. I asked Colin to explain a little bit more, and then he said this: I'm really surprised he took this job on. That might be a bit of a skewed reaction, though, because of England's tendency to draw the short list of managers who they contend to consider to be worthy from major league or major Premier League clubs. So I had another conversation actually with Patrick. Patrick said, this is wonderful news. He said Poch really can't lose. He can't go wrong because he's already qualified. So he doesn't even have to qualify. And if he only has to get better than Greg Berhalter did, or anyone else, for example, all he has to do is, and that's what everyone in the media has been saying, all he has to do is get to a quarterfinal and he'll be good. So I spoke to my friend Rod in Dubai, and he said the following. Actually, he verbalized it because I called him on WhatsApp. And he was thinking, so I'm going to paraphrase Rod here, I'm not going to read out his text message, but he said basically that he thinks this is a stopgap to bring Poch back to Tottenham. So think about it this way: in 2026, after the World Cup has ended, Ange Postecoglou's contract at Tottenham could potentially be over, and then if it's not renewed, then that is a way for Daniel Levy and Pochettino to repair the fences and bring Poch back to White Hart Lane. I think that's a bit of a conspiracy theory myself, but anyway, my friend Chang in Malaysia, he said the following: my single sentence take, he will surpass Klinsmann's achievements with USMNT. Given the same amount of time that Southgate had with English FA, USA can realistically challenge for the Copa America. Well, I mean, I should hope that Poch will do better than what they did this summer, because it was miserable. And then we also have Joseph. Joseph is another of our friends in our group chat. And he said the following: Poch taking the US job seems more like a nice place to land for a few years that he can easily get out of if a big club or Argentina wants him after World Cup. And that's what I'd be doing if I were him. So basically, you're saying that he's using the USA job as like a stopgap and hope that something better comes along. I think what I got from Colin was that, it's far too early in his career to be doing a national team job. But I disagree with that, because didn't Marcelo Bielsa at the same age or something like that, he was coaching Argentina himself, and then he went from national back to club, and then he's in the national team again because he's coaching Uruguay. So he was at some Italian club, I can't remember the name, and then he was at Leeds, and then he got sacked from Leeds. So, I don't see that it's just you're stepping down from the Premier League, or you can't manage Espanyol or Real Madrid, because he said he would never coach Barcelona. Espanol again, I should say, uh, and then just take a stopgap job at the US. So I didn't like that either. I thought I don't agree with that opinion. I think you can go back and forth between national and club. I mean, uh, hasn't Roy Hodgson done that? Hasn't people like Lopetegui? All right, that's not a really good example, but they've done that. So I think those things are possible. And then I got people asking me, why are you so worked up about Pochettino? He's not even at your club anymore. Yeah, sure, true, right. But why I'm worked up about it is the current state of US men's football is diabolical. Diabolical. So last summer, they had the Gold Cup final here at Allegiant Stadium, and we went along to that. And I think it was like one of the worst experiences I think I've ever had attending football, where nobody's paying attention to the game. People just walking up and down, chatting to their friends. They can't find their seats because they're so stupid. They can't manage to look at a seat number and an aisle number and find the right seat. Then some guy in a USA hat, he had like a Dr. Seuss hat. He started goading some Mexico fans or whatever, and then they threw beer on him, and we got hit as collateral damage. I've never gotten over that. I just see like there is no reason to behave like a fool at the football. So yeah, you could say that I have PTSD over that, but the state of their football, not to mention MLS generally, is diabolical. So when I lived in LA for a couple of years, and we used to go to LA Galaxy quite a lot because it's actually really close to where I live. And a couple of people from my work wanted to go there, so we tailgated. That was fun. I think we had one time we had a 4th of July there because they have really nice fireworks. But it's like, and then we saw people like Ashley Cole and that strolling around like it was, like a 4th of July picnic, like it was strolling around, and this is like a league game, I mean, I don't really understand how MLS works, but their games mean nothing because they have no relegation and no promotion. So there's no dropping down to the tier below and being worried that, your team is going to, there's none of that. It's none of that. It's all franchise stuff. And so it's kind of meaningless. And so what I think that probably promotes is a lack of meaning for the players. Is that, I can just stroll around here like it was. I'll take an example from Lord of the Rings, when the hobbits were cooking their breakfast on Weathertop or whatever, and then all these, like, Nazgul are descending on their position, like, you fools who are, it could have been a summer holiday and you're cooking your breakfast on top of a mountain where all these guys are coming to get you. That's like the attitude. And so I think, well, maybe it is good that Poch comes, because then he can kick them all, give them a bit of a kick in. The question is whether they will let him do that, because, first of all, he's foreign. So, luckily for him, his English is pretty good. I mean, like, it's improved significantly in the years when he was even at Tottenham, but before that, when he was at Southampton, and he had to have, like, a little interpreter guy helping him. By the way, that interpreter guy was just smokescreen. He actually didn't want to speak English. He was just pretending. So now there's no pretending. Everyone knows that you can speak English, and but the good thing is he is a fluent Spanish speaker. So I was watching the grand unveiling today, and all these people like from Telemundo and all these like Mexican TV stations and stuff like that, they were all talking to him in Spanish, which I thought was great, because now he can say things to appeal to more people and get more people interested. Anyway. So Pochettino is now the US men's national team coach, and good luck to him. I don't know. I have mixed feelings on it. Another friend of mine in UK, Shubes, he asked me, does this mean that you'll be attending more US soccer matches? And I'm not going out my way. If they're playing at Allegiant Stadium, yeah, sure. Right, but I'm not paying a top class ticket. I'm not paying for premium seating, because the level of their football is diabolical. And so I will support Poch. Yeah, sure, I'll cheer him on, but really, what can he do? By the way, he did say something very nice today. He said that he wanted to follow in like Emma Hayes' footsteps because she's successful, and that the US women's football team has always been more successful than men's. And I thought that was very astute of him. It's very, very clever to mention that, because it's also true. It's also true. They won the World Cup, and the US men's team never did. So anyway, I will be following from a distance with arms folded to see the progress. I hope for his sake that things go well, but only because I don't want to see him get pilloried. And I think it will be really sad if that's the case. I think he's even got an opportunity to clear the decks and get rid of people who are useless. And he's got the chance to even look for people who are like dual national, or recruit people from outside of whatever they have now. I saw a couple of weeks ago, Anthony Robinson got interviewed right after a Premier League game. Pochettino is coming. What do you think about that? And I was thinking, wow, this guy doesn't even know if he's going to make the team. What gives him the right to have, I suppose he has the right to have an opinion, but to think that he's going to automatically be selected, nah, I don't think so. You're going to have to fight for your place like everyone else. Well, anyway, that's my opinion on Pochettino. You can agree with me or don't agree with me. Everyone's entitled to their opinion. But yes, I will be following with a little bit of interest. Certainly don't think I'll be traveling to Kansas City anytime, or anywhere like that. But if I'm nearby, then, and there's a match going on, yeah, maybe, if the tickets aren't too expensive, and I think they won't be expensive. So there you go, and comment below and let me know your opinions.